Hey, how are you? My name's Svelte. Welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena, and today we're looking at Bant control. This is my second time recording this entire video because my audio settings were wrong the first time, so please forgive if I skip out on a thing or two here. It's hard to remember everything I want to talk about. I will start by saying that this is, in my opinion, one of the better control decks that will exist going forwards. I think three of the major ones that are going to have a really powerful showing will be Esper is going to be really, really good. I think Jeskai is going to be really, really good. And then I think Bant is going to be really, really good in terms of the three color control decks. I think those three color combos are going to be incredibly powerful. Why am I not including Grixis? Grixis still feels pretty mid-rangey right now, but we'll worry about that if we play it. As for the deck tech, it's a pretty straightforward control deck. We have lots of really solid tempo plays with like Fading Hope and Soul Partition, Make Disappear. No like super hard counter spells except the ones that Invasion of Arcavos can go get, but Make Disappear being able to make people pay 4 for a spell can work out really well because we do have creatures. Be it Contagious Vorak, or Wedding Announcement, or Invasion of New Phyrexia, or the Wandering Emperor tokens, or maybe even a Nissa token. The sideboard is absolutely here just for Invasion of Arcavios, because it'll allow you to go get something incredibly powerful out of your sideboard, or hunt something down from your deck list. 9 times out of 10, I'll just go and grab C double, because if I'm getting to a point where I'm able to play this at all in a game, 9 times out of 10, it's into like an etali or atraxa deck, and being able to just copy your opponent's spell can be incredibly useful. Or you can just copy the creature after the fact. I personally like to copy the spell to basically just buy tempo time, because when all the triggers are going off on your side, you have control over how the game is flowing, and you're not having to respond to what your opponent is doing. Other powerful cards that I think warrant a mention and warrant the Bant inclusion, as opposed to just playing Esper or just playing Azorius and cutting out all the extra lands altogether. Endless Detour. This thing is amazing. It is a counterspell that is not truly a counterspell. It is an incredibly powerful tempo play that can hit your opponents or your own stuff on purpose or otherwise. It is not a counterspell because it does not state the phrase counter target spell. It says the owner of target spell, non-land, permanent, or card in a graveyard puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Opponent casts a big thing that you want to turn to just not have to deal with, detour it right back to the top of their library. You want to replay your Jace because you can mill your opponent out because they're playing an Atraxa draw a bunch of cards deck. Endless detour it to the top of your library. The same general thing can be done with Soul Partition, with your own stuff, because you exile a non-land permanent, and for as long as it remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast by an opponent costs 2 more. Well, if you exile your Jason, then you're casting it, you're not your opponent. Metaphors aside, you're not your own opponent, as according to the rules of the game, so Jace will still just be 4 or 3 in a Phyrexian mana to cast. I really think Endless Detour is well with the inclusion in a deck like this. It really, really plays well in a lot of ways, and it also allows you to know, okay, well, I took care of that, and that's probably what they're going to do again, especially if you're in like top deck mode, then it'll work out really well. Another all-star that I think needs more love in a lot of decks is Contagious Vorak. This 3-drop 3/3 either gets you a land or proliferates. Those are things that you might not think can be incredibly powerful, but with the way that battles are making more and more of an appearance as people learn to play them better, with the way that hitting land drops is so important, it can be used in a multitude of ways. If you're hitting a bunch of lands and your opponent has battles, Contagious Vorak is a body to block them and make their battles have more, what do they call them? Defense counters? You can proliferate their defense counters, which can be really useful. Or you can proliferate your planeswalkers. We do have the one of Nissa, which I think is also an amazing card to include in the deck. The -7 doesn't typically play out well in this deck because you really only have the 3 Spara's headquarters and the 1 basic forest. So at best, if you hit all of those lands, you get +4/+4 in trample. But it can be useful if you're playing into a more aggro matchup or just trying to end it quickly into a control deck. It does also hit artifacts and enchantments, and when enchantments are all over the place because of all the leyline bindings that I've been seeing out and about, being able to just blow up a leyline binding when Nissa comes down can be really useful. 5 mana and 4 life sounds pretty expensive, but this deck controls tempo very well, so typically the 4 life won't really matter that much. And if your opponent is trying to take care of your bigger threats anyways, a tempo play of Nissa, blow up a leyline binding, get back a Jace or Wandering Emperor, and then activate their abilities too, can still just be incredibly useful. I like this deck a lot. I think it has great plays. Let's hop right into some gameplay and see how it does. We are on the play, excited out of our mind because we can play our whole hand on curve. I'm a little sad that it's not a card waste. Very happy to see Endless Detour though, especially into what's probably either mono white, tempo, or controller. Nope, it's blue white. I take back every single nice thing I was saying. There's no reason to counter the Faithful Mending. Yeah, I saw this coming. Yeah, this is... Well, we're gonna go take a nap. We have plenty of time in order to, They don't have the right amount of white mana. I could flash this out now. I don't think that they have... I don't think that they will, in fact, have a 4-mana play that will be scary. I think I just need to start watching out for, like, the 5 to 6 mana plays. Yeah, they're absolutely just playing Invoke / Repair and Recharge. We will continue to go wide because we have an extra Emperor in hand. We can shove whatever they try and play back into their hand and then point and laugh. Sure, they're gaining tons of life, but what does that matter if you can't play any of your cards? Reasons while this deck is cool. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna go for it. So, there's a little bit of cheeky fun. They can't play it out of their graveyard anymore. Now they have to draw it again if they want to play that spell.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
We can just counter again. It's very funny. Especially because we knew they drew it, and if they had a land, they would have played it. So, proof's in the pudding over here. We're getting rid of that so we can potentially draw some really good stuff. Soul Partition is a-okay. We will play this and start milling them out, because they're doing it anyways. Oh, we just made them go straight over 3 different lands.
In this fight.
We can Soul Partition back our Jace after this as well, if we so choose. And my opponent is just missing land drops left and right. We made so many correct decisions here. Play this so we can keep drawing cards ourselves. Really? You're going to just waste your mana on a negate, huh?
No secret escapes my grasp.
Sunfall's pretty okay here. I think we will probably just murder them straight up. I guess they can play 1 Faithful Mending, but they're dead. This is the type of matchup where this deck will just shine beyond belief. We're going first with an early invasion of Gobakhan. I am feeling very excited. We have all of our mana colors. I swear, Shuffler is broken. The number of times I get like multiple channel lands in my opening hands when they're one-offs, absolutely boggling. Not like boggles the creature, though. Ayo, Magic the Gathering humor for you. Alright, well, since they can't do anything, we get to invade Gobakhan. What do you actually play? Okay, there's several choices here. I think the most important one is Herd Migration, because they can't discard it anymore. Channel has to be done from the hand, so now this is a worthless card for them. And if they just try and play a Topiary Stomper, we endlessly detour it, or we counterspell it. They do have the spars for the double green. Tempo plays here are wonderful. If they play Invasion of Zendikar, they don't. We point and laugh because I made the right decision. No, like, seriously, I'm gonna explain why this is the right decision. Like I saw their hand, right? I saw that they had the Topiary ramp, and they had the Zendikar ramp, and the Herd Migration ramp, but they only had 3 lands. Meaning that they needed one of these 2 to resolve in order to guarantee a 4th land. And they clearly didn't draw it, so they were mad. Fun fact, any of these like discard channel style abilities has to be done from the hand. You can't discard a card from exile, I believe. I know you can't channel from exile. And I believe you cannot discard from exile either, which makes it a really weird but powerful counter to the Atraxa decks. GG's. On to the next. Opponent goes first. I don't hate this hand. We're keeping. Why don't I hate it? Because of Make Disappear. Make Disappear on curve is really nice. Unfortunately, it's looking like my opponent... this might be fortunate, actually. In my experience, I don't really have to worry too much about Mono Black existing. Mono Black into this deck typically doesn't do too much. I really just have to watch out for the 4-drops. Sometimes the 3-drops. We can Make Disappear whatever they play here. So they really want to make that a 3-3, noted. We are unfortunately just kind of stuck, just playing nothing while we stare at them. We could play Contagious Vorak here, but it'll probably die. They have 2 open mana. Holding open mana like that, you know, just... Come on, Shieldred? No? Alright. I guess my opponent is just that boring. We're probably gonna lose at this rate, because my opponent is playing smart. You have to hope Mono Black plays stupid. They don't know what I'm playing, though. Oh, never mind. They played stupid. We're good. Awesome. Why are we main phasing this? Just to avoid any and all interaction on their part.
You started this fight, but
That seems silly. But they could have played like any number of things there, and I just really needed to regain the life. We get the Shieldred's Edict out of the way, and we are living our dreams. We get to play Contagious Vorak after this, making us go get a land. Then we get to point and laugh as they try and kill it. Or we just invade Gobekhan. I think that's a great idea, actually. Let's go see what they're playing. What do they have back there? Board wipe doesn't matter. Cut down doesn't hit me. Gix's command is the closest thing, the thing they're closest to casting. So I'm just going to Contagious Vorak. And I'm going to go find a land. And I'm really sad because the top of my deck there was really freaking good. Yeah, they can't play that for a minute. They could upgrade this. Draw a card. But that would be all their mana. We don't block this. Because we can flip Invasion of Gobekhan. And that does, weirdly enough, matter. Ooh! Nice. What a good top deck. Once again, this is one of those weird, we should be main phasing this moments.
you'll be safer.
Wandering Emperor does so much better when you're not main phasing it.
This is what you get for hurting my people.
They can block with the Foundry, or they can kill my Emperor with the Foundry. But I'm not really worried about a Foundry. It's mono black. And now we have a way to make our stuff indestructible, which is just lovely. And Contagious Vorak is going to be growing each and every turn. We have gone through 2 Emperors. Little sad. Not the end of the world. Yeah, my opponent has the tough decision of, well, none of this is playable. There they go. I was going to say, they gotta play it, right? There you go. You got there. I think we're just going to play Jace full costed and start milling them so we can start drawing more cards here. I think that's just the right play. Yeah, you can't do anything, opponent. Like, everything in your hand is way too expensive.
Back to wandering.
Ooh, Soul Partition. Lovely. Jace is wonderful here because there's just tons of free card draw. Soul Partition can hit their land. Cannot hit their land, I believe, but it can hit their Evolved Sleeper, but their land can't get past Contagious Vorak anyways, so now we have options of what we're holding up.
The data requires scrutiny.
Yes. We can also just sack this and then, like, use it to keep our Vorak. Why didn't they upgrade their Sleeper? That seems like a really silly decision. Yeah, you can't do anything about that, opponent. I'm sorry. Alright, well, that makes our life really easy. I wouldn't be surprised if a scoop came out. Excuse me? In what universe is that a... Ah, yes, let me throw away my mana for no apparent reason. I think that was a rage bait attack. And they have nothing with haste, so we just kind of hang out. They don't have Invoke Despair anymore. That's not in the format. We can just kind of sit here and do whatever we want. You know what? Let's give that guy a little detour. Now we know exactly what they're drawing next turn if they put it on top, and if they put it on bottom, well... Oh, wait, hang on. I need to draw 2 with this. We basically just know that they're not going to do, So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can draw 4 with this. And then... Whoop. Wunderbar. Hand is refilled. Double make disappear. We know exactly what our opponent drew. And we just kind of win off this. I don't think my opponent can do really anything right now. It's not like that would have blocked my Vorak anyways, but this way I just, you know, don't have to worry about it. Nah. We're going to do this. This is a bit of a weird one to just get rid of the Jace to keep milling and drawing. Ah, Urborg Scavengers. But just refilling my hand to full here is just a fun idea. The cut down! Oh no! How didn't I think of such a thing? What if I just, like, don't let you kill it? Just to be rude. You can't play this for 2 turns at max. This can maybe be played. Yeah, you can play an Evolved Sleeper. Yep, congrats. And they scoop.
May your blade strike true.
I'm not gonna lie. I think they absolutely threw away the game. They rage attacked with the Mishra's Foundry in place of just holding on to it. They could have played and maybe eventually flipped Invasion of Fiora. Which would have maybe made them make a comeback, because they would have taken out my Void State, and then been able to play an Evolved Sleeper. Could have maybe flipped it if they plussed it up to a big enough state. Don't rage attack, unless you really know you've lost. In which case, maybe it's okay. Either way, GG's Mono Black. Opponent goes first. I don't hate it. We're able to play a lot of stuff on curve. We have double white to depop. Okay. Mono green? We hit our land drops, which isn't that surprising. This deck has 27 lanes in it. I don't know if I talked about that in the intro. Like, I said the strength. This is like my 3rd time recording this freaking video. That thing won't be able to flip quite yet. So we can do this and just start drawing cards.
I've already read your thoughts. The data requires scrutiny.
And we can just depopulate if I think things are getting out of hand. We have triple white actually. What? What? Am I sure I clicked standard? What on earth is that? I've never seen that card before. No Titan. Thank you. Come again. So if we get rid of this guy, they have basically nothing. I believe I'll take 7 here, but I'll be able to just depop after this. Unfortunately, they played around my Endless Detour, which they didn't know existed, but still. I mean, they could just go grab 3 lands, but this thing is, like, painfully expensive. So now I don't really have to worry about much, and then I can use Invasion of Arcavios to go get whatever I need for this matchup. Which, at the moment, I don't really need anything. I would like a wedding announcement, but with Endless Detour in hand, I'm not exactly sweating things. Can't I just like, hit the bear token with that? I could. That'd be funny. Bye-bye, bear. Yes, you can put it on the top or bottom of your library. Please enjoy. Contagious Vorak is pretty good here, unironically. We can hit the invasion of Gobekhan. Oh, they finally got a creature. I'm shocked, unironically. They can make a bear here. I don't know why they keep self-milling. Will you let me flip? Okay. That was weird. I guess their game plan is I'm gonna make a bear token every turn, or something like that. I don't really think that's a greatest idea, opponent, but... Nissa! Oh, no! I mean, what's a Nissa gonna do? You're gonna make the bear... They're gonna make the bear enormous. God, this is gonna be an embarrassing situation for them, pun intended. Why are you conceding? Hello? Where are you going? You Nissa ulted. That means you win the game, right? I think they realized that I had, like, tons of mana open, and I was just kind of letting them do it. I think they assumed that that meant that they were just going to lose. Or maybe they just misclicked. Maybe they meant to plus Nissa, which would have made a lot more sense. I don't know, but GG's mono green. We go first. I hate love the hand. Maybe I should have played this first, just in case. Enchantments. I don't hate the enchantment matchup. With a double Wandering Emperor and Depop in hand, I'm assuming they're probably just gonna, like, mega commit to a board state. Well, on the plus side, they're whiffing, like, everything. And since I know that they won't hit another land drop if they put this on top, I'm feeling pretty calm and confident here. Now that they put that on top, I know exactly what they're drawing, so a little pile of 2 knights is actually just abysmal for my opponent. Now, they could change their game plan. Ah, there it is. I'm gonna say, I feel like they could change their game plan here, but that bodes so much better for us. If they swing in with both, we don't really bother to block. Oh, they're just gonna do that? Okay, bye-bye. I mean, we both get to draw a card there, but I think that bodes better for me. The control deck. Thankfully, they don't really play Ozolith. In what universe does Ozolith go in that deck? I'm so lost. Alright, well, they're clearly still missing land drops. So I want to play the aggressive role here. We're gonna main phase this, which sounds a little strange. Let's flip Teferi. That sounds a little weird, but I kind of want to just flip the Teferi. They hit their 3rd land! Panic! 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 Ah, Kami, who cares?
Remember your training.
We get to draw, all of our stuff gets bigger, we profit. Actually, we get to draw too. The reason this matters is because we have so many freaking lands in the deck, so we need to get through all of our lands fast. Wedding announcement draw triggers can be really, really powerful in certain matchups. This might be one of them. We don't really care that much about flipping Teferi, but we want to make it as easy as possible. Okay, what are you going to ossify, though? Really? You hate the Emperor that much? You couldn't just attacked with your Kami. Audacity, okay. I don't know, they're gonna deal 8 damage to me. What will I do, dear viewers? I'll do nothing.
I've learned much
Besides gain
during
some
my
life.
travels.
That does
My
technically draw them a
judgment
card,
is
but that doesn't really bother me. We will also go and bonk this to flip to fairy. Because we want to start plussing him so we can hunt down what we need.
Can we skip to the part where you... I like to think I'm good at thinking.
I like to think I'm good at thinking. Invasion of Archaeos is too good to pass up. I don't really want to grab Jace at that point. We're just going to continue to go wide, and we'll profit. Any creature they land will get Fading Hoped immediately, just about. On their end step, of course. Don't need more lands. Depop's pretty nice. But I don't think we need it. Make Disappear is probably better than Depop right now, actually. Just when I can play Invasion of Archaeos and go find a way to redraw an entire hand. There's my graveyard or library. I kind of want to get a Silver Scrutiny just to draw a ton of cards. Alright, so you and you, flip that, you and you, hit face. This matters a lot too because now we can double cast spells, casting copies of them. Which, with Make Disappear, means we are doubling Make Disappear every turn. Yeah, I'm sorry, opponent. We can just decline that. There's the scoop. To be fair, if I hadn't kept removing bouncing and all that stuff, I think, honest to God, the enchantments deck could have gotten away with a 3-lander. I've seen enchantments pull ahead super far on a 3-lander with stuff like Jukai Naturalist on curve. Being able to play tons of stuff for cheap would have done them a great service, but... tempo, baby! GG's. Opponent goes first. We have Fading Hope and Make Disappear, so I like this hand pretty decently. If we get an untapped blue, I'd love it, but a tapped Spar as headquarters on turn 1 isn't terrible on the draw when we have an untapped second land. Especially hitting a Sunfall. Woo! Orzhov. Okay, not exactly scary. Probably Orzhov, probably just Orzhov weenies. I've seen this type of deck a lot, where they just play like a bunch of weenies. If they try and do anything, just gonna bounce that. We don't mind getting another land here. I kind of just want to play Wedding Announcement and get that rolling. I feel like that's a really good decision here. We play Wedding Announcement, get it rolling. They really want to replay their Dusk Legion Duelist, so they probably don't have many plays. Because that already takes up half their turn. Yara's Oathswarm, Menache. We'll hang back. Make another thing. So whenever it deals combat damage, if it has fewer, put a +1 counter on it. So it's just +1 counter synergies, okay. They do get to draw a card off this. Little annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Oh, okay.
Anyone who harms my people must... May your blade strike true.
That bodes well for me. Get rid of that. They do get a little soldier buddy, but it doesn't really bother me. So I'm just going to do this. That was pretty lucky, to be fair. Board state's pretty stable, especially into what appears to be a go-wide Orzhov plan. Having a Sunfall in hand is good. We have the double white to cast it when we need to. Contagious Vorak is also in hand. If we draw a land, we might just slam a Nissa. Did they really just pay 5 mana for that? Speaking of paying 5 mana for that. Bit of a weird one, I know. We just want the Nissa on board making stuff bigger for after we Sunfall. Because I can't imagine that they don't just like replay their entire hand here. Especially when they're probably going to draw like another 2-drop weenie. No? Okay. Well, let's start with the easy play. Bye-bye. So now we have a little 4/4 chillin'. Make another 2/2, make another Nissa token. That's a 6/6 now. We're growing past their point of no return, for the most part. Never mind, they play Sanctuary Warden. What a strange card. Sure, it'd be a shame if it got put on top of your deck and you didn't actually draw a card off it, huh? God, I love Endless Detour. It provides so many much tempo plays. I phrased it funny. That was on purpose, dear viewer. So if they try and replay it now, we just make it disappear and kill them, because that will have been their entire turn. And unless they have a board wipe here... What if I just, like, don't let you play that? Did you consider that? What if I just make the Wandering Emperor disappear? Lovely. Easy. Clap. With a rank up. We're going first. Turn 1, probably just the Otawara, right? And then I can just Fading Hope if they play any creatures. Buy that as a tempo play. Work my way towards my announcement or Jace or Vorak. Lots of really good plays in this hand. We also just play this because it doesn't reveal anything on turn 1, and it can often change a person's game plan. Seeing just like a mono blue on turn 1 can often change how a person thinks about a game, and make them think that they can get away with doing something different than what they can get away with. And in this instance, it allows me to get away with playing a wedding announcement, because I don't think they saw that coming. Looks like my opponent's either playing Dimir or Esper. Could be Esper Legends, could be Dimir Control, could be Esper Control. That's not as common, though. Esper Control isn't super common. I seem to be the only person that I have run into that plays the damn thing.
Those who get in my
Oh, discards a card. Okay, well, sure, yeah. Why not? I'm gonna go ahead and bonk your lady. And we're just gonna hang back, because we have a Make Disappear. And I feel like the Make Disappear is going to be amazing. We drop the Vorak. The Vorak doesn't really do anything here. Mirex, interesting. Okay.
One of your friends has to leave.
I feel like my opponent wants to play a Wandering Emperor. How does he do it?
A delay, nothing more.
We're gonna make a board state. If they're playing Esper, they probably don't run a ton of board wiping, but they could. Sorin the Mathless. Okay. If they make a... Nope. Alright, well, Sorin dies now. Oh, farewell. Good top deck opponent. Alright, so because of that, we're just gonna hold up the Endless Detour. And we're just gonna kill Sorin. Just in case they hit their land drop.
Let this be over.
Speaking of land drop, thank you, game. If they hit their land drop, we just need the Endless Detour. Buy ourselves an entire turn, and it's so lovely. But they're scared, see? Alright, bought ourselves an entire turn there. Get to take that out. Bye-bye. Or, as some people say, farewell. Alright, stupid jokes aside. I do unfortunately need to do this. Paying for that. Because this way, if I hate this game. I was gonna say, so that way if they do manage to somehow through the strings of fate get another farewell on top, I have a blue mana open. The game tapped my Yavimaya Coast! So I didn't have a blue open. I mean, it was gonna mill their farewell anyways. Jace is hilariously good into Endless Detour, by the way. Top tier combo. GG's Esper Control, I think. Actually, this is probably Orzhov Control. Either way, GG's. And that's the deck. There was a lot of really quick games on that video, I know. There's a lot of me just like tempo controlling people out of missed land drops. But like I said, I apologize. I recorded this entire video once and my audio settings were just totally fucked. I was like, it was awful, trust me. And that's the reason why I just kept a bunch of games that weren't as high quality as the last time I recorded this, just because I just wanted to get out a video on the deck. I hope you got to see what the deck does, even if you got to see it in a few poor matchups, in terms of like, well, my opponents just kind of didn't draw lands or stuff like that, but you got to see what it did in those matchups in general, because you'll often run into games where your opponent just runs out of lands. One piece of advice I have is maybe cut a land or two, in favor of another Detour or Vorak or Jace or something. Something in this slot. Because you have a lot of powerful 2 and 1 drops. Maybe add some more 1 drops and cut some lands. Because 27 lands seems a little unnecessary. Without having a ton of cycle lands or a ton of ways to seek them out via like Topiary Stompers or Invasion of Zendikar. This deck can often flood out pretty heavily, so that is my general suggestion to you if you want to toy with it. Maybe just put in another cycling land, put in like the Rafine's Tower because it has Esper colors and blue-white are the most important to this deck on average. But you could also just cut out like a Contagious Vorak and then just put in more basics, cut out some dual lands, and cut out Contagious Vorak for Topiary Stomper and go that way. This deck is a pretty malleable shell, in my opinion. A lot of the best cards are right in here, and then Endless Detour and Jace. Those are the biggest, in my opinion, mainstays of the deck. I find that like this little pile of stuff right here, all along the 1 and 2 drop, and then Endless Detour and Jace are the mainstays of the deck, the things that really make it tick in the longer matchups. As for the shorter matchups, Wedding Announcement, Wandering Emperor, Sunfall Depop, everybody knows those though. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that stuff, and I hope to catch you in the next one.